financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is, which is better to eliminate credit card debt? Chapter 13 or debt resolution? Which do you say is better?
Oh my God, you're pointing your finger at me.
I am the only one who's allowed.
I will tell you when we get to the meat of the show. Until then, I'm just going to say good morning and thanks for having us.
Oh, I forgot.
Today.
Did I even mention your name? Brian Small.
That's
nice to
right.
see you. Jeffrey Winnan, good morning.
Good morning, Ken.
Kelsey Samasco, welcome back. We haven't seen you in a while.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here.
It is great to
All right.
see you. All right, so
Do you ever get a feeling of deja vu when you're doing this show?
Every great once in a
I
while.
know, it's crazy.
So I want to talk about credit card debt, but let's talk about, we've mentioned it on the show, it's a recurring thing right now. What is growing faster than anything else in the world? Credit card debt. We reached and surpassed $1 trillion, and it keeps on going.
Actually, I think it's the national deficit, but after that, it's credit card debt.
I'm talking about the rate of the increase.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's your homework assignment for the next show.
I don't
want
do
you to
homework. I
research and tell me
graduated.
which is growing at a faster percentage rate.
Unfortunately, I have a feeling it's probably the national debt.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know why you say that necessarily. The national debt is growing at a steady rate, or whatever it is. The credit card rate is growing at an accelerated rate because people are spending more and they're not paying down on the credit cards, and they're experiencing 25% interest, which means the rate is going, the debt is increasing quicker than it was before.
$47 billion increase last quarter.
Yeah, but the question is, as a percentage of what was owed before.
I don't know. I don't
I'm betting
do
on
math.
credit card. It's too late.
I don't need to do
bet.
math.
Do you remember the Goodrich tire thing on the lodge when you drive downtown, and every time a car would
Wasn't it
pass
on
off
I-94?
the production line, it would ratchet up
I don't know if
one
the
item?
I-94 was the tires on I-94. But I don't know if
Do you
the sign
remember
was.
it or not?
We do.
Yes.
We do.
Okay. I think we need the same thing for credit card debt. Every time credit card debt goes up $100, we have a little sign that goes
But
up
do you
by a
really
notch.
think people, individuals, want to be reminded on a minute-by-minute basis of just how bad credit card debt is getting? Because
Like
the
when they're
reality
driving,
is,
when they're
it's a
driving
piece
downtown
of-
to a Tiger game?
yeah, it's a piece
Probably
of
not.
plastic, right? And we don't consider it as anything. It's like chips at a casino. When it's not real money when it's a piece of plastic.
Right.
And that's the way people treat it. And that's why it's over $1 trillion.
So for those of you that are watching this show and have been watching this show, then I guess we owe you an apology, because we constantly are harping on the fact that credit card debt is financial cancer, and by having and carrying too much credit card debt and doing that for, say, 20 years, you're basically throwing away your retirement, so that when you get to the age of 65 or 70, you have a mortgage that you're still paying on, you have two car payments that you're making, and you have a $400 to $500 credit card bill every month for the past debt that you've incurred, and you've got about $12,000 in the bank, and you think you're going to be able to live on $1,700 a month in Social Security. Then so I apologize for the times that we've spent saying you need to wake up and deal with reality and get rid of the credit card debt, so that when you get to 65, your house is paid for, you've got money in the bank, your cars are owned free and clear, and you owe nobody a dime.
Oh, that's that 3-point retirement plan, isn't
yes.
it?
Then if you've got $4,000 a month coming in between Social Security and the earnings on some of the money you've stashed away, you can live without borrowing from your children. Now, if I sound like I'm giving you a lecture, I don't mean to, but there are too many people.
Yes, he does. He does mean to lecture.
You
yes.
need to get the message, because if you can get to the age of retirement and you have no debt and you own your house free and clear and you've got some money in savings, for the first time after working your entire life, putting your kids through college, paying for dance lessons, paying for golf lessons, and doing all the things we do for our children, you can finally, at the age of 65 or 70, enjoy your life. But you won't if you're stuck with debt. Now,
But in the meantime, until you're 70,
back to the show.
You're not allowed to enjoy yourself at all, no matter what. You can't have fun
No,
because
that's
it's
correct.
just not allowed. You
That's-
have to work and slave away at the desk.
every single day. All right, so how do we go about getting rid of this credit card debt? What are our options?
All right.
I'm going to be the client today. I got $80,000 of credit card debt. I make $100,000 a year. I have a wife and 2 children, and put some like clouds in the air. I'm only 52 years old.
Well, that was some serious magic if you're only 52. But what do you
So
do?
I've got overhead and I've got expenses.
So-
I've got my kids are
sure.
still living with me at home, and I've got expenses. So $100,000 is nothing nowadays.
You've got a good point. The fact is that with $80,000 for the credit card debt, you're paying a whole lot of juice every month just to keep the minimum monthly payments going.
I'm paying
$2,000 a month.
$2,500 a month,
Okay, so
and every month the credit card bills go up,
they do because you're in the credit card
and they
trap.
can go up another $15,000. Because I'll say I'm very proud of the fact that I have $95,000 of credit available, which leaves me 15 still available, and my credit score happens to be 702.
Okay, I don't care what your credit score is. What we have to do is get rid of the
Would
debt.
you care about my credit score?
No, I care about my credit score.
If I was 30 and single and you were, I have to believe you're single, would you care about my credit score if I wanted to ask you out on a date?
Absolutely. That's the first thing I ask.
See?
Okay.
People care. Kelsey cares about my credit score.
All right, well, I don't.
Wait,
because I want to
gotta
get
do
rid
this
of the debt.
cause again. I'm not 55, I'm 28.
Yeah, okay. We got to get rid of the debt because no matter every day that the debt...
I want to know how.
We're going to look at Chapter 7, Chapter 13, and debt resolution. 2 types of bankruptcy and 1 non-bankruptcy solution to help you find a way to end the debt. And
Well, which is the better of the 3?
it depends on your individual situation.
What's the general rule?
Get rid of the debt the quickest, least costly method you can. Period.
With that, we'll take a break.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
I was married for 57 years before my husband died.
Simasco Law had established a trust for them before this happened.
There's so much to do in the beginning, but after about a month, you're kind of alone.
We deal with estate planning and trusts every day.
If you continue to have good support and know that your finances and your estate is in order, that's one thing that's so comforting. I would just highly recommend Simasco Law.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
All right, so we're back. So, Brian, my question is, which of the alternatives is best? You got Chapter 7, Chapter 13, and no chapter, and you have debt resolution.
Right.
Take my facts. I'm making $100,000 a year. I'm going to give you one more fact. I've got $100,000 of equity in my house.
Perfect.
Okay.
So a Chapter 7 isn't going to be an available option. It may be, but it would cause you to lose your house, which
I
is
don't
not
want to
the
lose
goal.
my house. Right.
Because you can only protect a certain amount of equity in your home.
All right, so if I didn't have a house, then Chapter 7 would be part of the analysis.
Yes.
Okay.
But in this
for
case, we're
today-
going to look at Chapter 13 or debt resolution.
All right, what are the elements of a 13?
So Chapter 13 is structure reorganization over time, where you repay some or all of the debt you owe over a period of 3 to 5 years.
Right. What does 4 have to do with 13?
What does 4 have to do with 13?
Any one of you.
I'll bite. What does 4 have to do with 13?
You're pretty intuitive. Do you have a gander there?
Well, the way I play golf, it's usually what I yell before I get to the 13th hole.
Okay. Kelsey?
I don't even know.
I was
the
just
faintest
looking at
clue.
the outline and I noticed a 1 and a 3 equals 4.
Okay, getting back to Chapter 13 and what it does for you. The fact is that what we have here is a situation
You
where
didn't like that, obviously.
now
Go on.
the guy
Jeffrey did.
your fictional client that has $80,000 for
Me.
the credit card debt.
Me.
Okay, you as the fictional client with $80,000 for the credit card debt. We're going to do an analysis which gets you out of debt paying the least amount of
All
money
right, so
back.
do the analysis.
So in this situation, with $100,000 worth of equity in the home, let's assume the house is worth $400,000.
My payment is $1,900 a month, including taxes and insurance.
Okay, so we take your
I can
net.
barely make it.
We take your net income. We subtract off your regular household expenses: the mortgage payment, the electric bill, the gas bill. What does it cost you to buy groceries? And after we get through the cost of living in your house, your car payments, your insurances, everything, what's left at the bottom? Your income minus your expenses. And in this case, let's just say you've got $1,500 a month, but your credit card payments are currently $2,500, right? So you really don't have $2,500
No,
a
all
month.
I have is 15.
So, and you've been borrowing on the credit cards to make those payments. So what we do is we say in a Chapter 13, you've got $1,500 available to clear your debt. For
Over how many months?
over 60 months. Because
So that's $75,000.
yeah. Well, and that's a good solid number to repay.
But I only have $80,000 in credit card
I
debt.
understand.
It doesn't sound like a good deal to me.
It first of all, it's at 0% interest.
Oh, so I don't have to pay the 26%. That's
So
good.
you're gonna save at least $80,000 in interest.
All right, but if I understand correctly, you're saying if I got $1,500 available, if I end up into Chapter 13, that $1,500 is going to go to the unsecured debts, the credit cards, medical bills.
Yeah, it's going to
Student
clear the
loans.
debt. It will go towards student loans too.
But I don't get to discharge the student loans.
So again, as we've discussed in previous shows, there is a possibility of discharging your student loans these days. If you probably have to be below what we call the median income for a Chapter 13 candidate or a Chapter 7 candidate. It's still relatively new. It's still playing itself out.
All right, I don't want to
But
get hung on
student
on
loans
student
can
loans.
have this promise.
So that goes towards that $1,500 a month.
Sure does.
All right, but if I say to you, I have no student loan debt, I just have the credit card debt, is there a way of getting out of the credit card debt if it's $80,000 for less? Like I work
Debt
on TV.
resolution.
So can I just get out of the credit card debt for $5,000 and be done? Can I just say
No,
to them, listen, I got $5,000. That's it. I'll give it to you tomorrow if you will take it. If not, forget it. You get nothing.
Okay, then I guess I get nothing because debt
won't
resolution.
work?
No, debt resolution is going to require you to settle your debts, quote unquote, for pennies on the dollar. But the average settlement is between 35 and 45 cents on the dollar, which is still a considerable savings.
All right. So if I owe $10,000, you're saying I could settle with
For 4,000.
Visa for $4,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So how does that work?
So remember that minimum monthly payment that you've been paying?
So isn't that better than Chapter 13?
In this case, it is.
But wouldn't it always be?
No. But what if your
Avail-
settlement
what
is
if-
40 cents on the dollar?
What if the pot that I have available instead of $1,500 is only $100?
Okay, so now you assuming we can make Chapter 13 work with all the other structure, the answer is yeah. Then you pay $100 a month for 60 months.
Which is only $6,000.
$6,000.
So yeah, so 13, if I get it, works if the amount I have to pay the unsecured creditors is low enough.
It's the analysis which makes more sense for you, because the problem is, wait for it, everybody,
No.
individual to the individual, and the solution is individual to the individual.
He had to do it again.
I did.
Did you get that off the internet?
I made it up.
He's also got it tattooed across his shoulder blades, if you
Yep.
want to see.
Yep.
Are you old enough
He's
for a
not big
tattoo?
enough.
Are you young enough for a tattoo?
No, I am not. No.
I saw one of the talk shows or something. It said 57% of people under the age of 40 have a tattoo. Something like that.
That's a big number.
Yeah, it was a very big number.
Wow.
So 50%.
Anyway,
I had one that said Grand Slam that I got at my grandson's birthday party, but it
But it
wore
washed
off.
off?
It,
Yeah.
it lasted for 2 weeks. It was kind
come
of people
on.
kept saying, "Did you get a tattoo?" I said, "I can't get it to wash off."
The key here, before we go to the break, is to understand that we're going to look at Chapter 13 and we're going to look at debt resolution, and whichever one works best for you, whether it's paying out
Yeah, don't give me
over
the
a long
summary
period of
because you
time.
haven't told me enough about how debt resolution works. What you told me is
I
I can't do it
negotiate.
with 5,000. So how long does the program take? How much? What does it cost? What's the system? Why does it work? How do you do it? Is that the same as debt settlement that I hear on TV?
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you after the break.
You got 4 seconds.
Now time's up.
We'll take a break. We'll be back after the break.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Pat was recommended by a friend who insisted that we really needed a trust. And he said, I know somebody who will do a good job for you.
At Samasco Law, we deal with estate planning and trusts every day.
We had excellent service from Samasco Law. Any questions we had were addressed. Our estate is in order and it had been set up so well that nothing needed to be done. I would just highly recommend Samasco Law.
Time for announcements. I want to announce THAV GROSS has opened a new office downriver in the Horizon Building on Eureka Road. So now we're in Flint, downriver, and also our home office in Bingham Farms. We have an estate planning seminar coming up Wednesday, November 8th, 6 to 7:30 p.m. at our main office in Bingham Farms. The title of the seminar is Why Today's World Makes It an Absolute Essential for Everyone to Have an Estate Plan. We're going to talk about the elements of estate plan, why it is so essential, what happens when a loved one dies, how you go through the process, what do you need to do. Attendees will receive a gold certificate worth $300 off of any estate plan service from THAV Gross. You register online at thavgross.com, that's thavgross.com, or call 888-235-HELP, 888-235-HELP. Remember, you can always come in for a free consultation. You can do it by Zoom conference, in the office, any way that works best for you. Just call 888-235-HELP or go to the website, thavgross.com, to sign up. Debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, business law issues, elder law issues with Pat or Kelsey, disability issues with Jeff Kirshner. Again, sign up at lawandreality.com or thavgross.com or just call 888-235-HELP. Also, if you go to the website, you'll see there's free reports. Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions by Jeff Linden and myself. Bankruptcy, Is It Right for Me by Brian Small. How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure. Business Formations, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan. And The Retiree's Guide to Social Security by Pat Samasco. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV Gross, Samasco Law, Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirshner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV Gross today, 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
So, Mr. Small, I'm very thankful that I could be here for this free appointment where you're explaining this to me. How does debt resolution work? I want to know, I'm trying to figure out, are you saying I should do Chapter 13 or should I do debt resolution? And if I'm going to do debt resolution, what's the process?
So in this situation, because based on the facts, we know we're going to pay back about $75,000 in a chapter 13, and we can pay back less in debt resolution. So what we do is simply we're going to stop paying the credit cards, completely stop, and instead of paying the credit cards, we're going to save the money.
So I save $1,500 a month.
Yep. And what we're going to do with that $1,500 is really simple. We're going to put it away, and we're going to start negotiating with Visa, MasterCard, American Express, whoever it is.
We're going to do that? I have to do that?
I'm going to do that.
Okay. So we're is you.
Yes.
I'm the client. I
Right.
just get to trust you.
Right. And we, as your representative, are going to negotiate and keep pushing the credit card companies till we get a reasonable settlement offer. And meanwhile, your only responsibility in all of this is to keep us informed of the communications you get from the credit card companies.
What if they're going to call me? They call.
I'm going to send them a letter. Tell them to
What's
call
the letter
me.
going to say? So if they call me and I pick up the phone, do I not answer the phone or do I answer the phone?
I prefer that you don't answer the phone. You ignore the call, and they'll get a letter
But if I
from
talk
me.
to them, what should I say?
Be nice. Always be nice. And you say,
Have you ever seen the movie Roadhouse?
I have. Be nice until
What
it's
about
time
you?
not to be nice.
Roadhouse?
No.
Roadhouse?
Great movie.
Patrick Swayze? All right,
Oh.
all right. Be nice.
Be nice, because everything
You've
say...
never seen Roadhouse?
We're going to run out of time, and I'm not going to
Sorry,
give you
go
your
on.
answers.
Go on.
Everything you say, they're going to keep track of. So you don't communicate with them. You don't tell them anything.
I
I'm
send
your
it to
advocate.
you. Okay, so how long does this take?
So debt resolution will take somewhere between 12 and 24 months to accomplish.
Okay.
Versus a Chapter 13
What's it going to
can
cost?
take up to
What's
5
it going to
years.
cost me?
10%.
How do I pay that? Do I pay it over time? Or
Over
have to-
time.
So I don't have to pay you that right off the bat?
No. I figure out what you need to make the problem go away, and then we'll set you up on a payment agreement
Right.
on top of
So
it.
here's the point. I'm switching out of being the client and back to being Ken for a second. If you're in this
You look the
situation
same.
where you've got the credit card debt and you're making that minimum monthly payment of, let's say it's $1,500 a month, that's what you can afford. If you don't do debt resolution, you go 18 months, you make your minimum monthly payment of $1,500 a month, and you still owe the same $80,000, $50,000, $100,000 of credit card debt.
100% true.
And it's going to be that way for the rest of your life unless you do something to get rid of the debt. When you do debt resolution, what's nice about it is, for the 12 months to 24 months that it takes us to get the debt settled and get out of the way, you're still paying that $1,500 a month. But once it's done, you owe them nothing. And then once you owe them nothing, the $1,500 goes into the bank and goes into money funds and goes into securities and starts growing
Heck, you
between
could
5
even put it into your 401k.
5 and 10%
Save
a
it
year.
tax-free.
So that when you get to be 70, you have retirement money. Anyone who has the ability to make the minimum monthly payment and is doing so and carrying that debt and paying that interest, trust me, you're throwing away your retirement. If you get rid of that debt and you just take that money and you put it in your 401k or you invest it in a Roth IRA or you just invest it in securities and so forth, you'll have a retirement. The financial industry loves you if you pay them 25% interest. I would love you if you wanted to pay me 25% interest. Everybody wants to get 25% interest. Your job is not to be one of the suckers that pays it.
Listen,
It's not your job. Our job. Me, the same as me. I made those mistakes and got rid of the credit card debt. Brian is one of the few people in the world that grew up with something in his head that said, I'm never going to pay interest.
this is true.
The rest of us fell into the credit card trap at one time or another. The key is getting out of the trap. 5 seconds. Last
No
word.
matter what your situation is, you want to make sure that you get the analysis done. Whether it's Chapter 13 or debt resolution or Chapter 7, you need to know what your options are and what your opportunities are.
Have a great week. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.